We got week 22 of Trump's presidency, just delivered more wins than Biden managed in 4 years. Iran's nuclear program is gone to ashes. Gas prices, they're plummeting. Tax cuts, massive. Fake news, humiliated. In one press conference, Carolyn Leavitt laid out an agenda that makes Reagan look like a moderate. And we love us some Reagan, okay? $10,000 more in your pocket. 15% tax cuts for working families. Gas cheaper than it has been since Biden took office. And Iran's nuclear scientists are updating their resumes for their workplace because their workplace just became a parking lot. I'm pretty sure they're not updating their resumes because they're probably hanging tight in the hot place with the hot man. The establishment said Trump couldn't deliver this in 1 week, let alone in 22. They said it wrong. What you're about to see proves the golden age isn't coming, it's already here. Keep watching. Now, while Trump secures America's future by destroying threats abroad, we must secure our food chain at home. The American bee population faces collapse, threatening our entire natural food supply. Patriot Bee Best fights back with education and action. Their digital bee sanctuary spreads vital knowledge about bee restoration and preservation. For just 17 cents a day, you can support both this show and save American bees. This veteran owned business knows that strong nations need strong food chains. Visit patriotbeebest.com to join, subscribe, donate to the Hive. While Trump makes America safe, help make America's food supply secure. Catch the buzz today. Peace through strength. Dead enemies make peaceful neighbors. Obliterating nuclear sites make honest negotiators. Watch Carolyn Leavitt explain how Trump ended decades of appeasement with 12 massive bombs. Take a look.
With President Trump as commander-in-chief, the world is a much safer place. After decades in which past presidents coddled and enabled the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism, President Trump finally ended the immediate threat of a nuclear Iranian regime. Following President Trump's command, the most powerful military in the history of the world executed massive precision strikes on 3 of the Iranian regime's key nuclear facilities. The objective of Operation Midnight Hammer was to destroy the regime's nuclear enrichment capacity and stop the grave nuclear threat posed to the United States, Israel, and the rest of the free world. The mission, which will go down in the history books, was an overwhelming success. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Dan Raisin Kane covered the operation in great detail at their briefing this morning at the Pentagon, and I encourage every American to watch it. As President Trump has said repeatedly, the United States of America has the greatest, fiercest, and bravest armed forces ever to stride the face of this earth, and we couldn't be more grateful and proud of our nation's warriors.
I'm grateful and proud too. After decades of coddling terrorists, Trump finally delivered what Obama and Biden wouldn't. They could have. Same office, same power. Trump just had the balls to commit to the actual results that make the world safer. But destroying Iran's nuclear program was just the appetizer, the main course. America is the main course. Making things better for us here at home, making life affordable again. Watch Leavitt drop the news about gas prices that has the climate cold, crying.
Now back here at home, Americans are paying much cheaper prices for gasoline this summer, as both the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times pointed out today. Here's how the Wall Street Journal put it. Hitting the road this summer won't bring as much of a big hit to your wallet. The national average for a gallon of regular gasoline is about 23 cents cheaper than this time last year. Analysts say plentiful supply is expected to keep prices down in the coming months. These are the cheapest gas prices at this point of the summer since 2021. And despite all the doom casting from liberal pundits, oil prices on Tuesday were lower than before the Israel-Iran conflict began. As President Trump continues to unleash American energy, our country will have even more efficient, reliable, and affordable energy to protect our national security and fuel our people.
23 cents cheaper than last year, the cheapest summer gas since 2021. That is what energy dominance delivers. Now, for the real details in Iran, those were weeks away from a bomb. Weeks, not years. Like Obama claimed while shipping pallets of cash. Can you believe that? That made me so mad. Watch Leavitt expose the difference between Democrat appeasement and Trump strength. Check it out.
The Iranian regime was weeks away from being able to produce a nuclear weapon that would threaten the entire world before President Trump took this decisive action on Saturday night to obliterate their nuclear capabilities. The contrast in leadership could not be more clear. Barack Obama and Joe Biden sent pallets of cash, American taxpayer dollars, in a failed attempt to buy the Iranian regime's compliance with a weak and ineffective deal. President Trump sent a fleet of American warplanes to destroy Iran's ability to produce a nuclear weapon. The United States and the entire world are safer because of this president's decisiveness. Despite agenda-driven leaks by the fake news media aimed at undermining this incredible accomplishment achieved by President Trump and our brave fighter pilots, there is broad consensus emerging already that Iran's nuclear capabilities were indeed destroyed. The United States, Israel, the United Nations, and even Iran all agree they can no longer build a nuclear weapon. So why did the president immediately turn to obliterating after the Iranian nuclear threat? Securing peace. Within 48 hours of the devastating strike, President Trump and his team brokered a historic ceasefire between Israel and Iran and officially ended the 12-day war. The Middle East is now shifting away from chaos and bloodshed and moving toward the beginning stages of a new era of peace and stability that President Trump has long called on them to achieve. This was unthinkable at this time last week, and this is what peace through strength looks like.
Obama sent pallets of cash. Biden's handlers sent weakness. Trump sent American Grombos, technology, bombers. Guess which one actually worked? Tax cuts coming your way that we're not talking about pocket change here. This is real stuff. This is transformational policy that puts real money in real pockets. Watch the announcement of the one big, beautiful bill that's about to change your life. Check this out.
Later this afternoon here at the White House, the president will host a One Big Beautiful event in the East Room to rally Republicans to get the One Big Beautiful bill across the finish line. At that event, he will be joined by everyday Americans from across the country who will massively benefit from the common sense policies and provisions within this bill. This is the largest tax cut for working and middle-class Americans in history, and it's going to put more money into the pockets of hardworking Americans. Families will see an average increase in take-home pay of more than $10,000 per year. Americans earning between $30,000 and $80,000 per year will see a 15% tax cut. Overtime and tipped workers will save thousands of dollars annually, and our amazing seniors will receive historic financial relief by reducing the tax burden on their Social Security benefits. Simply put, this bill is going to unlock the golden age of America. And we look forward to continuing to work with the Senate and the House to see this bill on the president's desk for signature by Independence Day.
$10,000 more per year for families, American families. 15% cuts for the middle class. This is what winning looks like. Are you tired of winning? I'm not tired of winning. I could keep going. I'll be up for a while. We could keep winning. But Trump isn't done. He wants peace through strength, not endless war. Watch how diplomatic channels opened because our enemies now fear us again. And thank God. Let's take a look.
The president wants peace. He always has. And right now we're on a diplomatic path with Iran. The president and his team, namely Special Envoy Witkoff, continue to be in communication with the Iranians and especially our Gulf and Arab partners in the region to come to an agreement with Iran. As for our alliance with the state of Israel and that friendship and that partnership between the United States and the state of Israel, I would argue it has never been stronger. And we see a new era in which perhaps some of these Gulf and Arab states can sign on to the Abraham Accords. That was one of the president's most signature accomplishments in his first term, and he'd like to see more of those countries sign on in this second term. And so we look forward to sustaining a long and durable peace in the region, and the president wants to do that through a diplomatic solution. But as he proved on Saturday night, he's not afraid to use strength if we need to do it.
Abraham Accords expansion, new Gulf partnerships. When you negotiate from strength, everyone wants to be your friend. Now, finally, watch Leavitt handle the fake news trying to spin Medicaid reform as cuts. This administration doesn't cut. It eliminates waste. There's a huge difference. Check it out.
I think our friends in both the Senate and the House know exactly where the president stands on Medicaid. He wants to get rid of the waste, fraud, and abuse, and they are working to do that in the Senate right now.
Waste, fraud, and abuse. That's what's getting cut. Not your grandmother's welfare, not your grandmother's health care, not their Medicaid, not the Medicare. That's not what's happening. Waste, fraud, and abuse. We're not giving Happy Meals to illegal immigrants anymore. Think about what we just witnessed. In one press conference, this administration announced military victory, economic relief, energy independence, and diplomatic breakthroughs. Obama needed 8 years to fail at all of this. Biden couldn't do it. That guy couldn't even walk up a flight of stairs, okay? But Trump, week 22, and he's just getting warmed up. This is crazy. Never seen anything like this in my entire life. Iran's nuclear program is rubble. Your gas tank costs less to fill. Your paycheck is about to grow. The world respects America again. This isn't complicated. Strong leaders get results. Weak leaders make excuses and blame the other guy. And they try to gaslight the entire country. Trump doesn't make excuses. He is making world history. You know, when I was in school, I used to think American history, and then we blow it up a little bit, and we have world history. After this, we're going to have another class that's even larger. This is human history. Every single day, he proves the establishment wrong. Every policy, every decision, every victory builds the golden age that he promised. And this is like happening right before your eyes. We don't even have to make it up. This is happening. The media wants you focused on their fake scandals and these manufactured outrage about, oh, were enough women involved in this attack against Iran? Like, oh, but we hate the attack against Iran, but one day we're going to figure out exactly what they actually stand for. My guess is that it's nothing. Meanwhile, Trump is putting money in your pocket and keeping bombs out of terrorists' hands. That's the difference between rhetoric and results. Now, if you got any value from this report, please, please, please tap subscribe. My final thought is next. You know, this is what America First really means. Not empty slogans or broken promises, actual victories you can measure with dollars, cents, enemies defeated. Iran's nuclear program took 15 years to build and 15 minutes for America to destroy. That is American power when wielded correctly. Your take-home pay jumping by 10 grand. That's American prosperity. That is the shining city on a hill. Gas prices dropping while we blow up our enemies. That's having a president who understands that you can walk and chew gum at the same time. look, we've been used to a president who can't even walk, so I know this is like totally outrageous, but this is happening. The establishment told you that Trump was too old, too tired, too distracted to deliver a second term. Does the guy look too old or too distracted or too tired to you? He doesn't to me. Week 22. Week 22. This is crazy. We've got years to go, baby. We've got years to go. We're not even halfway through this year. This is going to be amazing. He's not slowing down, he's speeding up. Every week brings a new win that real leaders do. That is what real leaders do. They deliver. Let me ask you, what matters more to you? 10,000 in tax cuts or knowing that Iran can't nuke Israel? Drop your answer below. Show your support. Shop.nextnewsnetwork.com.